Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Tom.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
And today it's our music unit for the month of December. I don't know if we have a music unit every month, but we're just talking about music in today's program. And we're not really talking about conventional music like playing the piano or singing in a chorus or playing in a jazz band or something like that. We're talking about something called Beatbox. Beatbox basics. Make music with your mouth. Interesting. I think a lot of boys like to do this. I don't really hear a lot of girls doing that. It's probably not considered feminine. But hey, if you're a tomboy or something like that and you enjoy this, hey, there's no reason why you couldn't participate as well.
I don't know if you've ever heard of this guy. His name's Tom Thumb. He's Australian. And I heard him a long time ago I'd been in Taiwan for a while, but I heard him a long time ago. It was TED Talks. He was online, and he is really good at this. In fact, if you go to YouTube, you can sign up for courses. He can help you learn how to do it. I think his TED Talk, though, is about 10 years ago, 2013. I looked it up because I thought, what's the name of that guy? It got more views than almost any TED Talks that they've ever had. So TED Talk is fun. They invite different people to come on and talk. Since then, there's been another guy. I think his name is Beardy Tom or Beardy Town. I can't remember that one, but if you check online, you'll see this. But he's amazing. It's like you make your mouth become a percussive instrument, which I don't know how they do this. You're really good at this, Tom.
I can do some basic stuff.
Well, there's an example in the middle of this article, and I was trying it out before we started with Tom, and he said, no, you're not doing it right. And he really got it pretty well. So we'll go into more of this, but as we always do, guys, we're going to read through our lesson first.
Beatbox basics. Make music with your mouth. Beatboxing is the art of making drum sounds using nothing but your mouth, lips, tongue, and voice. This incredible skill turns your voice into a personal drum kit, allowing you to create beats and rhythms that sound just like those of real instruments. Born from hip-hop culture in the 1980s, beatboxing has evolved into a global form of musical expression found in various genres. What makes beatboxing so special? First, it requires no equipment at all. This accessibility allows you to develop your musical sense and rhythm skills wherever you are. Plus, beatboxing is a fantastic way to express your unique personality and style through the power of your voice. Getting started with beatboxing is easier than you might think. In fact, you can begin with just 3 basic sounds. The B sound imitates the deep boom of a bass drum and is made by releasing built-up air from your mouth. The T sound mimics the sharp crash of hi-hat cymbals and is created by tapping your tongue against the roof of your mouth. The K sound resembles a snare drum and uses your throat to produce a quick, sharp snap. Here's a fun experiment. Try saying boots and cats repeatedly with rhythm. You'll realize you're already creating a simple beat pattern. Today, beatboxing is a worldwide sensation, with competitions like the Grand Beatbox Battle attracting top artists from around the world. Modern beatboxers blend electronic music sounds, vocal effects, and even singing into their performances, constantly pushing the limits of what the human voice can achieve in creating music. So why not give it a try? You might surprise yourself and become the next beatbox star. Okay, let's talk about the contents of today's lesson. We're talking about beatbox basics. You want to make music with your mouth, and that does not mean singing hey Jude, where are you now? Or I got the lyrics wrong there.
Yeah,
but,
you
that's
did.
Singing music with your mouth, but I think they're talking about making different kinds of sounds with your mouth. So maybe like, or you can make different kinds of sounds with your mouth. And then if you put them, yeah, that's probably closer to it. If you put them together in a certain way, you can sound like a drum set or a trap set, as it's called sometimes. And, of course, drumming is a big part of hip-hop music. Yeah, they've got some pretty great beats that people can dance to. But this, again, is music with your mouth.
My nephew, Spencer, is really good. He's a percussionist, and he plays with several bands. But, yeah, I asked him if he was able to do any of this stuff. He says it's amazing. But he's like you. He's the more traditional percussionist. But if you can make these kind of cool noises or sounds with your mouth, why not? So Beatbox Basics. We're going to talk about the basics behind this, what it is, how you do it. It's the art of making drum sounds using nothing but your mouth, lips, tongue, and voice. And it's kind of the space in your head. I think some of these will sound different based on the shape of your skull. I think that's true of singers, too. Our voices sound different based on the shape of our brains and our skull, that cavity, that empty space inside our head. So this incredible skill turns your voice into a personal drum kit. I didn't know they called them drum kits. That's new for me. And it allows you to create beats and rhythms that sound just like those of real instruments. They'll have groups where all of them can do this together. And sometimes they'll take turns on who's going to do the beats and who's going to do which type of sound. I love listening to those guys.
Yeah, so remember, a drum kit can also be called a drum set. So, of course, if you're familiar with drumming and you play the drums, don't say drum as one because we usually play more than one. I play the drums, so there's a bass drum, there's the snare, there's the tom-toms, there's the crash cymbal, the ride cymbal, the splash cymbal, the hi-hat, etc., etc. Those are all parts of a drum set. And yes, you can create beats and rhythms. In this particular case, with your mouth, so you're using your mouth, your lips, your tongue, and, of course, your voice. I don't think you're going to be singing, though. You're going to be like going, making sounds that way, something like that.
Hey, Tom, do you think they get this term drum kit from British English? Because we don't say drum kit.
I've heard it before, a drum kit, a drum set. I did play drums in college, or not college, in high school.
Cool.
I didn't get to very advanced stages with it, but it was fun. And a lot of drummers, of course, are very good at it, like Neil Peart of Rush, and there are all sorts of other drummers out there. But there are people who are doing this beatbox thing, so let's talk some more about this.
Drum kit is British. I just looked it up.
Okay.
So in American English, we use drum set. Yeah, I'd only heard drum set. I loved the drums growing up, and my mom would not let me take lessons.
Oh, no.
So I ended up on the violin and the piano. But,
drums can be quite noisy, especially here in Taiwan where it's crowded in cities. But if you like the drums, you could always get a set of electronic drums where nobody will hear you make any sounds. You can listen to yourself on the headphones, and you can learn the basics of drumming that way. But we're talking again about Beatbox Basics. I've had a lot of trouble saying that.
That's hard to say.
It's kind of a tongue twister here. Beatbox Basics. Ba, 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 ba. Okay, so it's born from hip-hop culture in the 1980s. Okay, we all know about hip-hop culture and breakdancing and stuff like that. I was born in the Bronx, I believe, in New York with people like Houdini and Curtis Blow and people like that. And beatboxing has evolved into a global form of musical expression found in various genres. Okay, so to evolve just means to change slowly over time. We talk about evolution and human evolution, where apes and humans have a common ancestor over millions of years. And here we're talking about the slow change of hip-hop into beatboxing, and it is, changed slowly over the years, and now it's spread all over the world. It's a global form of musical expression, and there are different genres of this particular art form. There's hip-hop, but they probably do it with other kinds of music as well, like jazz or whatever.
Now, genre is kind of a weird word because it's French. And so we take the French pronunciation, genre. We don't say genre or genre or whatever, but it's genre. It's just a style or category of art, music, or literature. So it's a style or a type. It's a category of something. And we use it in lots of different things. It's not just music. So we have different genres that we get into. I love musical theater. Although I sing classical music a lot, I prefer musical theater and I like pop music, but I don't like hip hop. Sorry about that. I wanted to mention one thing before we continue because for me, I was a little unclear as well. What's the difference between beat and rhythm? A beat is that steady pulse in music. Boom, 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 boom. But when you use the word rhythm, that's the pattern of sounds together. It also includes the silence between the beats. So maybe you were thinking about that. I wondered that, and so I thought, I'll look it up and see what they say officially. So we're talking about those beats, though. The Beatbox is what they've named this. I don't know why they came up with this name, Beatbox, but what makes it so special? It says, first, it requires no equipment at all. How great is that? You don't have to spend any money. You actually can just get online, and if you watch enough of these videos, I bet you could learn quite a bit.
Absolutely, and of course, people are very willing to post videos on YouTube and places like that to teach you how to do various things, and there are certainly probably videos that teach you how to do beatboxing.
Yeah.
And again, it does not require any equipment at all. You just use your mouth, your lips, your teeth, your tongue, and your throat or whatever. And this accessibility allows you to develop your musical sense and rhythm skills wherever you are. So we're talking about accessibility. If something is accessible, that means you can easily use it or you can easily get to it. Mm-hmm. We often talk about, say, buildings being accessible to the handicapped. Is it wheelchair accessible? If you're in a wheelchair, can you get inside the building? Are there wheelchair ramps for you? Because if there are stairs, wheelchairs can't go up those. So, yeah, they need to be accessible for people. And accessibility, of course, is the noun here. And this, of course, is referring to beatbox accessibility, which means basically everybody can do it.
Plus, it says beatboxing is a fantastic way to express your unique personality and style just by using the power of your voice. So when you use this word fantastic, I see more of the younger generation using fantastic. I don't think my mom or dad would say, that's fantastic. They would say, that's wonderful, that's marvelous. But fantastic, I think, is a great word to use. Do you use fantastic yourself, Tom?
Sometimes. I had a friend who's really into like drum and bass music and stuff like that. And hey, how is the new album? Oh, it's fantastic. He used the word fantastic a lot to talk about different kinds of music coming out. I think fantastic is used a lot when we talk about music. So again, beatboxing is a fantastic way to express your unique personality and style through the power of your voice. Again, using different parts of your mouth there, your lips, your tongue, etc., etc. Now, here in the next paragraph, it says, getting started with beatboxing is easier than you might think. In fact, you can begin with just three basic sounds. The B sound, or b, and that imitates the deep boom of a bass drum. Boom, 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 boom. I suppose that's closer.
Boom.
Yes, to the sound of a boom there. Boom is just that sound of an explosion or something like that. Or the boom of thunder during a thunderstorm.
Yeah.
And to imitate just means to copy something. So yeah, the B sound is copying the sound of a bass drum, the biggest drum in a drum set.
And also when you use that word boom, it gives you the idea that it's a deep or low sound. Like, boom! That's not really a boom to me. Boom. Yeah, so you want it kind of low, and that's one of the first or most important sounds that you're going to be using. And like Tom said, it copies or imitates that deep boom of a bass drum. This word boom, we have several words like this that actually sound like what they are. Boom. Or zoom. Some of these are just sound words to us, but we're going to talk more about this and how we make this sound. But first, guys, we're going to listen to our Chinese teacher.
听众朋友大家好，我是安娜。我们今天要来到音乐单元，带大家看什么呢？不晓得大家有没有听过 Beatbox， 也就是节奏口技。好，如果你不知道节奏口技是什么的话，定义一定会出现在第一段，通常会在第一句的地方。 这个文章也是一样哦。第一句就出现了节奏口技，它到底是什么啊？它其实是一种只用嘴巴、嘴唇、舌头跟我们的嗓音来制造鼓声的一种艺术。我们看到在第一段第一句的地方，首先后面那个使用什么什么东西，我们看到的 using 其实就直接换成介系词的 with， 用什么工具啊？那接下来的 using 后面的两个字 nothing but 可以把它框起来哦。 nothing but 就等于一个字叫做 only， 所以只有这些什么舌头、嘴唇啊，这个嗓音啦，这就是我们的节奏口技。那它是用来模仿制造出鼓声啦。那这样子的一个节奏口技到底是什么样的时候开始起源的呢？我们在谈起源之前啊，先看第一段的第二句。基本上这样子的技巧可以把你的声音变成你自己个人专属的鼓组哦，所以你可以进行很多样的创作。为什么要特别看第一段的第二句？因为它其实是有一个 and 省略的一个分词构句啦。也就是说，在第二句当中，第一个动词是 turn your voice into 这个 turn， 第二个动词，既然你有这样子的一个技术之后呢，这个技术就可以使你创造出很多的节奏。好，逗点之后的 allowing 还原是 and allows， 连接词 and 省略 allows 变成动词 ing。 再来呢，有限定用法关系子句哦。接着看，先行词是 beats and rhythms， 这是先行词。那么后面的关系子句从 that 一直到句尾的地方，所以这些节奏啊，这些 beats and rhythms 是看起来好像是真的乐器一般。再来第一段的第三句就讲到起源咯，其实它源自于嘻哈文化，差不多是1980年代那个时候开始的。所以来到第一段的第三句，我们又看到一个 born 过去分词，我们大胆假设它就是一个分词构句，被出生在1980年的嘻哈文化。谁被出生？逗点之后主词 beatboxing 啊，原来这个节奏口技啊，它就是源自于1980年代。好，那么接着我们谈完节奏口技这个定义之后啊，我们就要来看第二段哦。为什么节奏口技会这么样的特别呢？因为首先基本上它不需要任何的这个设备啊，你只要嘴巴可以发出声音就可以了，所以非常的便利。这种便利性呢，让你不论身在何处都可以培养一种音乐感还有节奏的技巧。所以来到第二段，我们来看第三句这个地方，这个所谓的便利性啊 accessibility， 其实 access 本来就有接近或者是使用存取的权利，所以你随时都可以用嘴巴发出声音，这就是一种 accessibility， 就是一种很方便存取的一种状态。接着我们还要看一下无论身在何处，在同样第二段第三句最后面的地方，我们把 wherever 这个字抓出来。wherever 还原的话是 no matter where， no matter 就是无论，它有一点强调在任何地方，不管你在 A 处，不管你在 B 处，不管你在 C 处，在任何地方，无论在任何地方。所以疑问词加 ever 它就有强调，例如无论何处叫做 no matter where， wherever， 无论是谁你可以用 whoever， no matter who， 无论在什么时候 whenever， no matter when。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everybody. Today, again, we're talking about Beatbox basics. And we were just introducing you to some of the basic sounds that you can use if you want to do this. First of all, we talked about the B sound, or b sound, and that imitates the deep boom sound of a bass drum, and it releases built-up air from your mouth. So if something is built up, it's kind of accumulated or gathered in one place, and then it is suddenly released. So b. That's built-up air being released from your mouth. Does that sound like a bass drum?
Well, it kind of explodes, doesn't it? If it's built up and that's boom. Yeah, bass drum. I think you can do this pretty well. I'm not really good at this.
I haven't done this yet. I'll demonstrate later on.
Okay, cool.
So that's the B sound there, b. And then we've got the t sound. And that mimics the sharp crash of hi-hat cymbals. and is created by tapping your tongue against the roof of your mouth. That's usually how you make the T sound. Yes, of course, the hi-hat, of course, is the two cymbals that kind of smack together. You push them down with your foot. You push your foot down, and that makes those two little cymbals come together. And most of the time, of course, drummers will have their foot down on the pedal to keep the cymbals together, and then they tap on them with their drum, with their stick, rather, and that forms a lot of rock music, that's the hi-hat or the ride cymbal or whatever. And that's the T sound. I'm not quite sure if that does sound like a hi-hat, but I guess for most people it does.
Now, here's a word that's very similar to imitates, and that's mimics. So you can choose either of those or copy. It copies, it imitates, it mimics. Little kids, if you've ever had a little brother or sister, they love to follow you around and mimic you. Sometimes they do it for fun. Sometimes they're trying to irritate you, so you pay attention to them. But we can use either of those, imitate, mimic. And this T sound, as Tom says, mimics that sharp crash of hi-hat cymbals. This is a higher sound, so I would be better at a t-t-t-t sound than a boom. I don't have a very low voice. And it's created by, he said, tapping the tongue against the roof of your mouth. That's the very top part of your mouth. It's the soft palate. Soft palate is behind that. The roof is harder. It's a harder texture there. So what about the K sound, Tom?
The K sound is k, as it is with KK in biao, k, which is not voiced. So we got the K sound here. And that resembles a snare drum and uses your throat to produce a quick, sharp snap. So the snare drum is also used in rock music. You've got the hi-hat going, the bass drum, and the snare. That's usually the most used items in a drum set to make music, the snare and the hi-hat and the bass drum. And yes, indeed, the snare drum has got snares on the bottom of it. They're little coils of metal that vibrate when you hit the top part of the drum. And, of course, they're used in marching bands and things like that as well. And in this particular case, if you want to mimic that sound, you use the K sound, and that is a quick, sharp snap. So, does that sound like a snare drum?
Kind of.
Something like that, I guess.
Oh, dear. I wanted to mention, when we use this verb tap, it's to touch lightly, but we also will use tap to talk about tapping our toe. Maybe you like a song, you like the rhythm, and your foot just starts tapping along. We're tapping our toe, tapping our foot to that. So this K sound, like Tom says, resembles that snare drum. I would say that they use that snare the most of everything. Even for jazz musicians, they use that snare all the time. And you use your throat to produce a quick, sharp snap. Now, a snap could be your fingers doing a snap like this, right? So to snap means to make a short, sharp sound with your fingers or something breaking. Oh, snap. If you have a branch from a tree and you try to break it, it snaps in two. It's that. So here's a fun experiment, and I'm going to have you do it, Tom, because I wasn't able to do this very well. Try saying boots and cats repeatedly with rhythm. Now remember, I was doing it like this. Boots and cats, boots and cats, boots and cats. Doesn't really sound like beatbox. Listen to Tom.
Yeah, you're voicing the consonants there, so I think you're not supposed to voice them. So you got to go. I think that sounds close to it. I may not be right on there, but I think that's what they're trying to get at there.
Cool.
Boots and cats. There's different kinds of sounds you can make there. I'm not very good at it today for some reason, I guess because we're explaining this stuff and I'm not really in the mood to produce beatboxing. But
I have some advice for everybody, honestly. If you're going to be practicing this stuff or even performing at some point, don't stand too close to anyone else because you end up spitting on everybody. But you have to produce that spit to make some of these consonant sounds, right?
And so if you're doing that, you'll realize you're already creating a simple beat pattern and you can build on from there. Now, here in the next paragraph, it says, today, Beatboxing is a worldwide sensation with competitions like the Grand Beatbox Battle attracting top artists from around the world. So yeah, go onto YouTube and enter that in the search window there, and you can probably see some videos of people competing in this competition, the Great Beatbox Battle. And yes, you've got people coming from all around the world, and probably lots of competitors coming from good old Taiwan as well.
That's right. So this would be something to check into. Now, modern beatboxers blend electronic music sounds, vocal effects, and even singing into their performances. They do all of those things together, pushing the limits of what the human voice can achieve in creating music. I love that. Now, when you blend things together, you mix or combine them together. Maybe you're making a batch of cookies. You're going to mix or blend all those ingredients together so they're no longer separate. They're together in one. So they use electronic music sounds. I'm not a big fan of electronic music. I know you like it, Tom.
Well, I like sampling the most.
Okay. And vocal effects. Sometimes they actually do sing. But vocal effects, to me, would be more of a tone coming out, like, whatever. And then they're often also singing when they're performing. Some of the fun groups I've seen that do beatbox, they also sing as well.
Indeed. So, yes, using your vocal effects, probably from your vocal cords, and you can even sing. And you're pushing the limits of what the human voice can achieve in creating music. So, yes, indeed, of course, if you watch these competitions, you're going to expect something new and novel and something that hasn't been done before. So why not give it a try? Ooh, that sounds like a challenge there. Why not give it a try? Maybe I should give it a try here. So let's see what I can do here.
Okay.
Something like that. That's pretty basic, though. I'm sure a lot of people out there can do
I don't want to use
better.
your microphone.
Yeah, I tried to spit off to the side there. I'll wipe it up after I'm done here. So yeah, give it a try yourselves. I'm not sure what it will have to do with your English study there. I suppose you could try to throw in some English lyrics or something like that to practice your English.
Hey, maybe it makes you better at enunciating or gives you better diction, at least with consonants. I would encourage you guys to get online and check out either Tom Thumb or some of these really professional beatboxers, because it's pretty amazing what some of these folks can come up with. It's very, very creative stuff. So even though I can't do it, I enjoy it.
And you might surprise yourself and become the next beatbox star. Okay, that brings us to the end of our explanation for today. Here comes our Chinese teacher.
那既然是这么样的便利的话，我们就可以好好的练一练啦。要怎么样的练呢？当然，如果开始学这个节奏口技的话，你可能会觉得很困难。其实它比你想象还简单。为什么说呢？第3段我们来看一下。其实你只要从3种很基本的声音开始。哪几种声音？第3段第3句 B 这个声音，第4句 T 这个声音，跟第5句 K 这个声音。当然 B 这个声音模仿的是大鼓声，而 T 的声音呢，模仿着是一种比较尖锐的撞击声， K 的声音像小鼓的声音。可是不管是第3段3、4还是第5句，我们看到3、4句特别有一个句型，就是 by 介系词加上动词 ing， 会表示方法，借由如何如何，借由做什么动作可以完成另外一件事情。例如在第3段的第3句，我们看到句子比较后面的地方 by releasing build up air from your mouth， 借由释放出你的嘴里面的空气释放出来，才模仿出来 B 这个大鼓声 by releasing air from your mouth。 接下来的第4句同样是这个句型哦， the T sound， T 的声音呢，我们往后看 by tapping your tongue against the roof of your mouth， 所以是借由拍打你的舌头才发出 T 这个声音。那么最后面呢，我们可以看到啊，除了学节奏口技之外啊，从这个基本的 B、T、K 3个声音开始之外，我们会发现其实现在节奏口技几乎是一个全球的风潮咯，而且还有很多不同的比赛。例如第4段的第1句，看到一个 worldwide sensation， sensation 就是大家都很热衷的事情。那什么样的 sensation 呢？这一句当中逗点之后的 with 在这里表达的是表示附带状况，它的受词是 competitions like the Grand Beatbox Battle， 补语也就是补充说明这个竞赛后面看到的补语是 attracting top artists from around the world。 那补语这个 OC 啊，有可能是动词 ing， 也有可能是形容词，也有可能是副词，但是附带的状况 competitions 什么样的竞赛呢？就是会吸引全世界顶尖表演者的一种竞赛。所以接下来呢，大家有空的时候不妨也可以练习看看 Beatbox。 以上是我们今天的内容，我是安娜，我们下次见。
Okay, that brings us to the end of our lesson for today. It's kind of interesting, though, because after reading this article and explaining it, it's actually made me more interested in the drums themselves and not so much into beatboxing. And yes, indeed, if you go online, you can probably get yourself a nice set of electronic drums for under 20,000 NT dollars or something like that. I think I'd rather do that because you can move your body and stuff like that instead of just your mouth. And you won't worry about spitting on other people.
Thanks for joining us, guys. For English Digest, I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Tom. Goodbye.
Bye.